What is up, guys? I bet you this title got your attention a little bit. The Turbo Miata is going away. I know I've been slacking a little bit on videos, but there's good reason why. I've been completely inundated. I started a new business and I've been really focusing on trying to get that up and off the ground. So it's really taken a lot of my attention away, and I'm just trying to get this in now. It is 4:45 Thursday night and I have to work tomorrow. But I want to get you guys something to explain a little bit what's going on. So, Turbo Miata. Now, I know I've mentioned this before in the past, and I've talked about removing this motor and going with a rotary. Now, that has finally come. When I talked about this in the past, a local friend of mine reached out. We made a deal. He's taken the whole setup, motor, all the fueling, electronics, the ECU, everything. It's going to be unturbo and put into his car and returbo. So that's going to all be taking place this weekend. I'm going to really try to get this done because I got everything else going on with the business stuff. So I want to get back to that as soon as I can. Now, I'm going to be doing a little bit of documentation for this work. I'm going to bring that car and put it right here, and we're just going to unhook everything, and then just put in, and hopefully this should be mostly turnkey. I know there's going to have to be some stuff that I have to modify a little bit because this is just a stock 1.6 with bolt-ons, and I did some custom work on mine to make everything work. So I will be documenting that. There are some key bits that I will show you guys because I'm going to try to get it done over the course of this weekend. It won't be as in-depth as my other Miata videos are, or not my Miata videos, as my other tech videos are, but I hope you understand why I can't film every little nitty-gritty detail. So this should be really interesting because he's a little bit of an older gentleman, and this is just a bolt-on 1.6, so it's probably making like 100 wheel horsepower. So I can't wait to see the expression on his face to go from that to 254 wheel horsepower in one shot. I think that should be pretty interesting. So that's what's going on with the Turbo Miata. It is getting a 13B, and that is again to test the experimental port that a good friend of mine who helps me with my rotary builds have talked about, him and I. And if it works out, it's a different type of peripheral port, and the goal is to try to keep it as streetable as possible while pulling as much horsepower, naturally aspirated out of the mill as possible. And if it works, it's going to go into the 20B build for the white RX-7, which is going to be happening this year. I know I say that all the time, but it is happening. Basically, I kind of had a little bit of an epiphany, and I think I need to talk about this a little bit because it's just so you guys kind of understand like where I'm at and why I've been doing some of the things that I've been doing. So, when I bought this property is fucking amazing of a property, but I would have never been able to buy a property like this unless it had the issues that it had with it, because I bought it dirt cheap. I know I didn't finish the video telling you guys the whole story and giving the whole tour. That is going to happen this year. I did film it, in my defense, I did film it in late fall before the snow hit, but my mic pack audio cut out in the middle of it, and I just wasn't happy with how it came out. So I'm going to redo it all again come the spring. Now, there was a ton of people gunning for this property. It was empty for 7 years because of some of the issues that were surrounding it that needed to be addressed with the town. Nobody was able to pull this house off except for me. I was the guy who came along after 7 years and pulled it off, and I worked my ass off to make this deal happen. I put everything on the line to make this property happen because I wanted it that bad, but I did it. And that changed everything for me. It literally changed my entire life. And I want to share this with you guys because I know a lot of you guys are younger than me. I get questions from you guys, what do I do for a living? What should you do? And it's important that you hear this because I realize now where I've gone wrong in my life. I shouldn't say I've gone completely wrong because I'm proud to be where I am, and I think I did well in that regard. But let me tell you a little bit about what I did and this is the mistake that I made. So I chose IT. Everybody asks me what do I do for a living to afford all this or whatever. I usually just say network security because that's my main job. Now, I've always been a guy who seized opportunities to make extra income. Side hustles have been my thing. I fucking work my ass off to afford some of this shit that I have, but that's just it. I have a bunch of shit to show for the money that I've made, but I don't have big savings. You know, I would be pretty screwed if I needed to come up with a lot of money in a pinch. So that's where my life is like really kind of changing. But just so you know, aside from my IT job, which I chose because it was a safe, slow and steady career path. I've been in it for 13 years now. I'm not happy with what I do. I don't hate it. It's probably been the best job that I've ever had. I have a good gig in that regard, but it's just not where my heart is. It's not what I love. So I'm trying to get out of it, doing things that I love. I have the auto parts business, which I started. That hasn't come to market yet. I'm working on getting the first products in the market this year. It's niche shit that I think a lot of you guys would really find useful. It's stuff that I've had to fabricate for my builds because it doesn't exist. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm doing. I'm focusing on niche products, not copying somebody else's thing. This is not what I'm into. But I know that I'm not going to get rich off of that. It's just going to be another supplement. But supplements are good because if you're smart with it, you can use that money to grow more. So that's happening. The second business is, and I've talked about this, is a firearms business. And if you're in the firearms, that's awesome. I'm going to link the socials for it so you can follow me and see what I'm doing there. I've been kind of documenting the process that I've been going through, like the journey, because I'm hoping that it succeeds, and I'm hoping that this is going to help me just kind of continue to do what I want to do. If you're not in the firearms, that's totally cool. I totally respect it. I never liked guns. I didn't fire a gun until last year, but then I fell in love with it when I understood how to properly handle a firearm, how to safely handle it. I love working on stuff. I love modifying stuff. I love the build. The FFL license that I recently got is a Type 07. It's a manufacturer's license, so it's going to allow me to produce my own firearms. That's really what the goal is. Selling firearms is just I'm using that extra income that it's going to make as a stepping stone that get me to producing stuff. I have a lot of ideas for the firearms world, so I really want to aggressively get into that market space, and that's kind of why I'm doing the stuff I'm doing with that. So be sure to follow me if that's into your thing. I'll be able to sell anywhere. I'm doing the whole online setup. So if you live in another state, you could buy from me. If you're interested, it would obviously just go to your local FFL, and they would deal with your local laws and transferring it to you. There's no like gun show loophole for any of you guys who are maybe not so much into the whole idea of it. But so that's what I'm doing with that, and I've been working my ass off, like getting everything in the mix. Everything's like I'm getting ready to like launch officially this week. So that's happening. Other than that, going back to kind of like the side hustle thing. So I'm an opportunist. Guys, like I work my ass off to like whenever I have a chance to make some extra money. I work on cars for side work. I do IT side work. I have a couple clients that I handle on the side. I rent car storage here in the garage for the winter time. I have a rental property now. So I kind of just try to get my hands in whatever I can. I've never been one to shy away money, and I've done a lot of shit jobs when I was younger because any successful person that I follow will tell you that no matter what, if you want to make it in this world, you're going to have to do the hard work. So you might as well get it done when you're younger. And I did that, but where I went wrong doing that was that all the money that I made went in one pocket and right out the other to buy cars and more car shit and more car shit and more car shit. That's all that I did. I literally got up out of bed every day to live my life to go buy car stuff because cars always has and always will be my number one. But it was the wrong thing to do. And I know that now because my mindset's completely changed. After I pulled this house off, I opened my eyes up and I said, why am I still going to work every day to a job that I don't love to buy shit that I don't need? So my whole mindset now is I'm giving myself 10 years to do this, and I'm trying to get away from it. And I want to do things, I wanted to do it doing things that I love. So it's automotive and it's the firearms thing. Those are the two big things that I have going on in my life, and I think I would much rather go to work every day doing that than going and sitting in a cubicle working for a big money-making machine. I'm not going to say the company I work for, but they are a huge, huge, huge global company. And I've seen good people get let go when they needed to cut budgets. And it sucks. And it's like that is the unfortunate thing about big businesses, is that it's all money driven at the end of the day. I'm lucky that I work on a good team. I have a great boss. He's a fantastic guy. So I have a little bit more security, but it's always in the back of my head. If I were to lose my job right now, it would be devastating. I would not be able to swing what I have going on. The other thing was that was kind of holding me back was I carried our second house, or my first house, I should say, after we bought this place for 18 months, that mortgage, after closing on this. That was brutal. We were so financially on the edge, and I finally got rid of that place in October. And I will say this, when I was signing the closing papers, I was thinking, what car can I go finance next? And I'm like, I'm going to go buy a Dodge Viper or a Mark IV Supra or an NSX or something stupid like that. And I was just like, it all clicked afterwards. I'm like, what are you doing, you fucking idiot? Why would you go and put yourself in a financial position where like you are more tied to your job? So I've eliminated all my debt. With the money that I made and the equity on that house, I paid off all my car payments. I paid off that ridiculous loan for the wood boiler that I had to take. I just got out of all that. I refinanced this place. I reclosed on the new mortgage in January. It's on a 20-year note. I got rid of the stupid PMI and the stupid interest rate that I got because I had to take a renovation loan, a government renovation loan, which had a higher interest rate, and it had PMI, which was $207 a month. That never went away for the life of the loan, so I got rid of all that. All I have for reoccurring debt is the mortgage payment. So I'm not giving up on the car stuff. It may be stalled a little bit while I launch this other business. But I want to focus on wrapping up the projects that I have. So that's the rotary swap into the red Miata. That's the 20B build for the ARC-7. That's the 6-speed and clutch diff swap for the NB, which is happening soon. Now that I have the lift, I can just go and do that. I don't have to push that off anymore. S2000, I want to do ITBs and whatever on it and maybe paint it. BMW Z4, maybe do some NA stuff on it or whatever. So I have plenty of stuff to do, but I just don't want to strap myself financially. And at least if I go about it smart, I could do it little by little, keep evolving the channel, keep doing that. Oh, that's another source of income, the YouTube channel. It's just starting to finally make some money. I made $1,200 last year. Yes, thank you guys. It's not a lot of money in the whole slew of things, especially with the time put into it, but that's okay because I never wanted YouTube to be, like I never started the YouTube channel to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna make money off of this one day. I did it because automotive is what I absolutely love and I just want to share that with you guys. And forums are kind of dying out now, which is I used to post a lot on the forums. So the YouTube platform really kind of gave me an outlet to continue to do that stuff. Plus it's video and I love the driving stuff. You can't share that on a forum and your writings as much as you can visually. So that's why I do this YouTube channel, and it brings me like so much joy when I see, when I see that like I'm helping somebody. And I love it when like I do something or one of my tech videos helps you guys with like an install or whatever, because that's how I kind of learned to do a lot of the stuff that I had to do, is by watching others, reading and whatever. Especially with this house, the amount of shit that I can do now with just having that automotive approach and like using YouTube and like the internet to learn how to do stuff, like it's really been super, super beneficial to me because most of the stuff I can do myself. I don't have to hire anybody. And that's great because I'm a broke dick in that regard and I don't want to pay people, My mother always said, beggars can't be choosers. And that has just been a phrase that like stuck with me over the years because I didn't care what the job was. If it meant helping me move my game forward a little bit, I would just take on the work no matter how shitty it was. And I've always done that. So now I'm still kind of doing shitty work. It's just not as shitty. It's stuff that I really like. So that's why it's like, it's just changing everything. The way I look at the world is like drastically changed. And I hope that some of you guys who are like a little bit confused, I do get questions from some of the younger viewers like about what I do and like how they can like get to this point and whatever. And like honestly, if I can leave you all with one thing, if you're still watching this, is that if I had this mindset when I was 21, I wouldn't have bought half this shit that I did. I would have been so much more riskier. I would have went right after what I love, absolutely love, which would be something in automotive. But I would have went hard and did it from the get-go. I would have got the shit work done back then, and I would have been smarter with the money. I wouldn't have just taken it and just tried to buy shit that I really didn't need. Nobody needs all this stuff. I love it, and it's brought me great joy, but you don't need it. And now I'm at the point where like, it's like, okay, now you have to make some decisions of how you're gonna live the rest of your life. What are you gonna do for retirement? What are you gonna do for all this other stuff, you know? So I'm looking to grow something that hopefully will allow me to like move out of that and then just focus on my own deal. And if it doesn't work by the time I'm 40, I'm just gonna start buying properties, and I'll just slumlord it up to have some sort of a means to kind of like retire and live somewhat comfortably. So you young guys, don't listen to there's always going to be naysayers. You have to remember that. And it's usually your parents, and it's usually your close friends. Everybody's going to tell you that idea is stupid, don't do it. But like, I can't tell you guys how many people told me this property was never going to happen. And like, fighting for this, the shit that I went through for this place, everybody was out. Every family member, every friend, they're like, dude, it's not gonna happen. You should just stop wasting your time. But I was tenacious, and I said, fuck that. I'm gonna keep pursuing this thing until the end. And I did it. No matter what hurdle came up, no matter what like problem was making it seem like the deal was gonna fall through again, which happened almost every day, I did it. And I learned that if you want it bad enough, and you really, really, really have to want it, but if you just want it that bad, and you keep fighting, you know, it will work. And I can't say that for everything. Nothing's guaranteed in life, right? And you're gonna have failures. I've had failures, but like, if you just keep fighting, I really, truly, truly, truly believe that things will work out and things will happen. And that's what I've been doing. And that's why I've been so consumed. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that this helps some of you. I really do. Don't make the mistake that I made. You could do so much more, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't. Honestly. That's it for this one, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you all so much for the support. Thank you for everything. Everything. I truly, truly love you all, and I'm just so happy and so proud to be where I am. So stay tuned for the next video. We'll be pulling that motor out. That's it, guys. Have a good night. Done.